Hey guys, welcome to my first video on YouTube. I hope you would like it. Today we are going to discuss probably one of the most confusing concepts in the world of psychology. That's why psychology doesn't much talk about it. We are here to talk about ego, which is the greatest deceiver. But what does ego mean? We classically think of ego in a Western sense, like you have got a huge ego, which means you are full of yourself. But ego just means you are yourself. Now, if we think of ego in scientific terms, which means your ego is a false sense of self created by unconscious identification with the mind. What does that mean? Your mind creates an I. Think of it this way. You have a squirrel out in your backyard. What's her name? Your squirrel doesn't have one. Even other squirrel doesn't have a name because there is no I in the squirrel's mind. They don't think about themselves. Like, does my tail look like it's getting fat? They see anything, they eat it. They see water, they drink it. If they see a tree, they climb it. This is the major defect in human brain, that we have this I and we actually think it's ourself. It actually becomes this other character in our mind which has incorporated itself and created a false sense of I. Once this ego is created, it has a running dialogue, it never shuts up. If its life depend on, I can prove this to you because you normally don't hear your own chatter of mind. People say, oh, I don't talk to myself or my head until unless I am having a conversation or I am talking to something or talking about something. But you never ever stop talking to yourself. You just don't hear it. You just ignore this background noise, but sit alone in a room yourself for 3 to 5 minutes and try not to think. Try not to hear any voice in your head. Now we talk about signs to indicate the egotistical nature of a person. The first one, you value material objects above all else. Yeah, it's true. Let me give you an example. If I drive a 2018 Aston Martin, do I feel the same compared to others while driving them? No, obviously not. Second one, you tend to interrupt others. You don't let people finish their thoughts because what you have to say matters more. You have constantly interrupt others because you feel what they have to say is much more intelligent and important. You always take credit for success. It's our third point. Egotistical people often try to take credit for the successes of others and avoid blame for their own mistakes. They consider their own internal characteristics, such as ability and effort, as superior to others and believe that mistakes made must be fault of others. Now the fourth point, you hate losing. No one else enjoying losing. But if you are an egotistical person, you might cheat and lie to win, to save your face in front of others. Because if you lose, that validates your deepest and darkest fear that you are inferior. Now it comes to our fifth point. You leave a social gathering without gaining much more from others. At parties, you want the focus to be on you. Like someone has rightly said, you might leave a social gathering or work meetings and realize that you don't remember what anyone else said. Nor do you have strong feelings about what they said unless it was a negative response to your idea. Now the sixth point, your experience a lot of resentment. If you find yourself engaged in gossips, criticisms, or condemnations of others on a regular basis, it is likely the ego feeding itself. Now the seventh point, you don't feel grateful. Egotistical people often feel that they are better than other people, and therefore they do not feel it necessary to thank others for their help. Hey, now I'm going to tell you a bitter truth about you, about yourself. In the 8th point, you spend time around others who are just like you. Egotistical person usually gravitate towards others who are similar to them because similar people will reinforce their positive beliefs about themselves. Now we comes to our next slide, which is a sign of fake people. First point in a sign of fake people are generally full of themselves. Fake image personalities always likes to show off. They have high opinion of themselves and they want to make sure everyone around them sees how great they are and they view others as being beneath them. Now the second point are manipulative and judgmental. Fake image people can be highly judgmental of others, often as a way of gaining control. They will constantly be trying to gain the upper hand and win the validate of others by manipulating those around them. Now the third point, do not express their emotion freely and clearly. These people don't know how to cope with their emotions, so they are often aggressive with others as a way to cover up their own feelings because these people don't understand what it means to be true to themselves. They end up running away from who they really are. Now, the fourth point, these peoples are attention getters and people pleasers. These fake image peoples have a need to make everyone like them or at least notice them. They may come off as needy at times, and they may have an annoying habit of constantly changing and tweaking what they said for fear that someone will take what they said the wrong way. Now, the fifth point, have unrealistic perception. This is one of the biggest reasons why the fake people are so toxic. They are often wrapped up in materialism because in their world, the stuff that fills their life is the true reflection of how successful they are. 6 point, aren't interested in learning from their mistakes. These people are focused on making themselves look good. They aren't too worried about the actual quality of their character or trying to better themselves or become more trustworthy. In their mind, they are perfect and everyone else falls short. Now, the self-realization. The ego creates a character and that character becomes you that isn't really you but is damaging your life and that becomes your self-image. So your self-image is always false. A false image makes us feel bad about ourselves. It constantly attacks yourself. The ego does not want you to focus on it because if you focus on it, you realize how stupid it is, how negative it is. We all want to destroy false image and we all eventually get rid of it. It actually puts we in pain. And then distraction is the way that we get away from the pain. Now, false self-image. What it does? First, it creates a pain so it can live. Second, makes us feel bad about ourselves. Third, it constantly distracts us. And the fourth, causes guilt and anxiety and remorse. Now the defense mechanism for ego. How can we defend to become an egotistical person? Some of the points are acceptance, acting out, avoidance, denial, humor, humility, intellectualization, rationalization, projection, repression, self-serving bias, comparing, wishful thinking, blaming, and passive aggressive. When the ego is removed, only you and serenity are left, which brings happiness. And people keep trying to face, and happiness is your natural state when you remove all the crap out of your mind. Now, thank you for watching this video. I hope to see you in my upcoming videos. So stay tuned. Please like it, subscribe it, and press the bell icon for more updates. Thank you.